And this is the Phoenix Network. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Gene Kernan, and we have gone live. I think it says it's live. We'll see how that's going. I can't really hear it playing because I've got the sound off so that I can do this. So we'll give it about another 30 seconds in case it's actually playing. StreamYard can't connect. Okay. So I'm back on screen, and our first guest today is Dolly Kennedy, the legendary Dolly Kennedy of the Dolly Steamboat. Dolly. Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Eugene. How are you?
Oh, I'm still just as cute and cuddly as I ever was, Dolly.
Okay, that makes
I'm not actually claiming I never was.
Oh, thank you so much.
I have my moments. Love you too, though. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic now. Thank you.
Excellent. And you're looking as marvelous as ever.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I do love your hats, Dolly. I do.
Thank you, Eugene.
You're so festive.
We make a pair, yours and mine.
Yes, well, that's because if I take the hat off, the glare of the lights is going to blind everyone. No, actually, that's not why I wear the hat. I wear the hat because I like it.
Either way.
I've had this hairline pretty much since I was 18.
Oh.
So I got used to it early. I just like wearing my hat. So that's why I wear it. But let's get into it a little bit. And let's have you look him right in the eye, Dolly, and tell him the story of Dolly Kennedy. Now, as I recall, you're an Arizona native.
Yes. I was born in Buffalo, actually.
In Buffalo, okay.
Buffalo, New York, and graduated from the University of Buffalo as a registered nurse. And shortly after that, another nurse and I left Buffalo to, what should I say? Well, a new adventure to go to the City of Angels, Los Angeles. And
you went to LA?
Would you believe the very day I arrived in LA, I was introduced to my husband-to-be, tall, dark, handsome. And 18 months later, we were married.
All right. Well, congratulations on that.
Yep. We raised a family of 5 boys and 2 girls, born in that order. And then after we raised our family, my husband was in HR in the aerospace industry. And so we moved around a little bit because if you remember back in those days, if you wanted to climb the corporate ladder, you moved wherever the company put you, right?
And you guys were living in Huntington Beach at the time, right?
Yes, we did. We lived in Huntington Beach in our dream home until the company moved us to Monroe, Louisiana. And that was a great experience, even though at the time we didn't think it was. At the beginning.
Okay, let's just make sure that people understand. Moved from Huntington Beach to Monroe, Louisiana.
Right.
Was a move up the corporate ladder.
Was it up? I'm sorry.
Well, you said move up the corporate ladder.
Yes.
Okay. Because some people might think Huntington Beach, Monroe, Louisiana, but it was a corporate ladder thing.
True, yes. And we moved with the idea that after 3 years, they would move us back to Los Angeles. It was mainly just to get the company started there in Monroe. However, in the process of moving back, we were told that there was a temporary detour to Phoenix, Arizona. That was in 1971,
And so you came to Phoenix in 71.
and we're still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's actually 5 years before I got here. Okay.
Okay.
So you liked Phoenix.
I'm sorry, why Phoenix?
You decided you liked Phoenix.
Well, we were here, we were moved here, and so, like I say, it was supposed to be temporary. But yes, my husband liked it. Plus the fact it's, as we had talked before, it's one of the places that has the most boats per capita and from any state in the union. And my husband was a boating enthusiast. So as a matter of fact, he had a dream that he pursued shortly after we moved to Phoenix, and that was to own a marina. So,
Cool.
yes,
So he actually got to fulfill basically a lifelong dream
he did.
of opening a marina by moving to the desert.
He he decided to take early retirement, mortgaged everything except the kids, and obtained a permit from the United States Forest Service to operate a business on government property, and that was Canyon Lake Marina in the middle of the Superstition Mountains. Mhm.
Very cool. And that was on Canyon Lake, right?
That was on Canyon Lake, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Business,
And
I'm
okay.
sorry, business flourished in the summertime and died in the wintertime. So after a year, we realized that we really needed to have an additional income to have this deplorable marina turn into what PK had as a dream. So
Okay.
decisions, right? We were
Hmm.
in the empty parking lot of the marina, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was cold. The wind was blowing. It was dark and dreary. The wind was blowing so hard, Jean, that there were whitecaps on the lake. And we were standing there discussing our future. What were our options? About that time, we heard a rumble and glanced over at the one-lane bridge, and there were two buses filled with winter visitors on their way up to Tortilla Flat. My husband looked at me and said, there has to be a way to bring those people in here. And I thought to myself, what do we do with them after we get them here? Well, it was like he heard me and he said, we're going to build a tour boat. Oh my gosh, here we are in the middle of the desert on property that nobody even knew about. Lake Marina was not heard of in those days. And this HR guy from the corporate world is going to build a tour boat. Needless to say, I didn't think it was a very good idea. However, when PK made up his mind to do something, he did it. So I didn't argue. He built the boat.
And that's what became the Dolly Steamboat.
Yes, he built the boat, and when he named it after his wife Dolly, I had an immediate attitude adjustment. I thought it was a great idea.
I'll bet you did.
I did.
Is that the single most romantic thing he ever did for you, Dolly?
No, not really. My
Okay.
are the other.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna try to get a contest going here.
No.
It just occurred to me that, you know what? Naming your lifelong dream or what came from your lifelong dream
Right.
after your wife is
Yeah.
pretty romantic.
True. Yeah.
So the Dolly Steamboat was born in, and what year was that? 82?
1982. Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's been going strong since.
It has been going strong since then. So we're very fortunate. We did have the boat. We only had the boat for 5 years. And then we sold it to our most devoted passengers, Roger Grimm and his family. And they just did a fantastic job. They kept the name, which of course was wonderful. And Roger immediately enlarged the boat from 48 passengers because we built it to accommodate a busload. So Roger enlarged it to 140 passengers, which is what it is today, and kept the name, and eventually hired me back to do PR. So I have the best job in the world. I get
Well,
to,
as we were leading up to this, as we were talking about this the other day a little bit, getting a little bit researched,
yes.
you had mentioned that in the first couple of years, I think it was, that
Mhm.
you started getting bookings from tour companies around the country.
Right, right. Actually, the response was way more than either one of us ever figured, and we were having so many tour companies supply us with passengers with buses that we finally decided that we had to be able to accommodate our local visitors, and that's what made us make a decision. We had to do something. 48 passengers was not large enough.
Right. But they kept the name Dolly Steamboat,
Yes, wasn't that
and
wonderful?
they kept you on as head of PR, right?
Right.
That was one of the smartest moves. That was the smartest move they made. The first one was buying it from you and
Oh,
enlarging. But then this first smartest move they made was keeping the name and keeping you on there to
thank you.
promote it.
Thank you.
Because Dolly, I've known you since
It's been a
the
long,
late 80s. Okay. So I've known you 30 years or so.
been a long
And
time.
you struck me as legendary then.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank
I've
you.
spoken to people around the state from time to time. And to the people that come down to the valley and they're familiar with Dolly Steamboat,
Mhm.
Dolly Kennedy is legendary, as is the Dolly Steamboat.
Well, I think part of that, Gene, is the fact that uh, people enjoy seeing others dressed up, and I think that's part of the theme. Uh, when we first started, PK said that he built the boat, and it was up to me to fill it with passengers. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do that. So I tried to think of a way that I would be approachable when I was out in the market or shopping, just anywhere, that people would feel free to stop and talk to me. And so that's why I started dressing the way that I did or do. And it worked. People to this day still stop and talk to me, which I love. And it just makes it a little easier to open the door of conversation. So,
Well, I think you're right about the dressing up for it.
mhm.
But then again, it always struck me, Dolly, that you don't just dress up for it. I mean, any lady can put on a gown, any guy can put on a tux, but you dress, period, for the steamboat.
Thank you.
Okay. And it's that period costuming, that period dress that I think is part of what made and what continues to make Dolly Steamboat and Dolly Kennedy legendary.
Well, people
Okay.
enjoy that. I think people enjoy looking back and,
Oh, well, one of the things that people always mention.
mhm.
Hey, you know Dolly Kennedy? Oh God, I love Dolly and her
Oh,
hats. You know,
thank you.
they talk mainly about your hats, but sometimes your dresses too,
Uh,
because anybody that knows you at all, somebody mentions your name and your image in your
uh,
gown and your hat pops into their head.
thank you. Thank you. Well, when PK started, when I started dressing, I asked PK if he would agree to dressing also, and he said yes. So I found this wonderful little secondhand shop that was just for wedding apparel. So they carried pinstripe trousers and brocade jackets with velvet collars. And so I would dress PK in whatever color. We would be color coordinated. And he wore ruffled shirts and the velvet collar jackets and the pinstripe trousers. And actually, our friends from Europe would come over. They seemed to be the greatest admirers of his. And the ladies would go up to him. They'd look around first and see if I was anywhere in sight. And then they would go up to PK and say, "Can I feel your ruffles?" Oh my gosh. He thought he died and went to heaven. He was so pleased. It was fun. It was fun. And the ladies adored him. Yes. He made a wonderful riverboat captain.
That's beautiful. That's a great story, Dolly. So, 82, it's now 38 years. Dolly's Steamboat has been around for 38 years.
38 years. Yes. Can you imagine? And remember the other day when we were talking, I mentioned that there had been a boat on the lake once before, and it was called Geronimo. And that was in 1925, Eugene.
Okay.
It was a 20 passenger. It was advertised as having ample seating capacity, 25 people, and it was 36 feet long. And it
Well,
was
1925, right?
Yeah,
On a lake in Arizona.
right. 19,
So I'm pretty much thinking 25 was a relatively respectable seating capacity at that time.
right. Yeah,
There were maybe 50 people in the state.
true. Oh my gosh. 1920.
See, this is the beauty, and one of the reasons that I wanted to get your story on, Dolly. We had this discussion the other day as well.
Yes,
To me, entrepreneurs in general, and especially Arizona entrepreneurs, are the epitome of the pioneer spirit. You know, the people that are going to go out there and they're going to do it. They know there's going to be challenges.
right.
They know there will be issues to deal with, and they don't let that stop them. And to me, that's the pioneer spirit, and that's what I started creating the Phoenix Network about, was to help drive that recognition of that pioneer spirit of Arizona entrepreneurs,
hmm
like you and your husband.
Thank you. Well, and today I want to mention too, the Grimm family were the ones that purchased the boat. I told you Roger Grimm and his family. And today, Jeff and Cindy, brother sister team, are the ones that have been keeping that tradition alive. And they are absolutely wonderful. If you haven't been on the boat lately, I just want to say that it is in tip-top condition. And of course, with the COVID condition, they are recognizing and keeping up with the regulations that are needed, distancing and masks and all of that. But the boat is in beautiful shape. They're just wonderful, and Jeff makes a fantastic riverboat captain. Yes,
Well, Dolly, tell everybody how to get a hold of Dolly Steamboat and about the tickets and events and such.
I would love to. Thank you. We have different tours, cruises on the lake. We have day tours, which are an hour and a half long, and those are $25 per person. And then we have dinner cruises every Saturday night, and those are $79.50. And an astronomy cruise once a month, where we have Dr. Sky on board, and those are $82.50. So you can go to our website, www.dollysteamboat.com, and you can place your order for tickets there, or the best way would be to call 480-827-9144 and speak to a reservationist so that you can ask any questions that you may possibly have. So I hope you'll call us because I don't want you to miss the boat.
Okay, so let me just recap something here. You have Dr. Sky on there how often?
On the astronomy cruise, which is once a month.
Astronomy cruise.
Uh-huh.
Stephen Cates.
Yes.
Stephen Cates is one of my local heroes.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you remember
He
him
also
on KO? I'm sorry.
and so I appreciate much of what Stephen Cates does. especially his Dr. Sky stuff. So it's dollysteamboat.com,
Yes,
and the number again.
is 480-827-9144.
And once again, folks, Dolly Steamboat sails on Canyon Lake,
Mhm.
and Canyon Lake is on the way to Tortilla Flat.
Correct. 16 miles
So,
northeast of Apache Junction.
right. So it's kind of up what some would call the back road from
Yeah.
Apache Junction up
Mhm.
to Roosevelt.
Yes,
But yeah, it's I love Tortilla Flat almost as much as I love Dolly Steamboat.
it is fun, isn't it? Yes,
Well, it's another one of those unique Arizona places. You
yes,
know, one of those unique Arizona businesses, one of those pioneer places. It's been around forever.
it has. It has. Before the Dolly Steamboat.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So, folks, if you want to have an experience of a lifetime, take the Dolly Steamboat, do
Mhm.
a tour, do a cruise on Canyon Lake. You can get a hold of them at dollysteamboat.com, or you can call
480-827-9144. And don't miss the boat.
Dolly. God bless you. It's been a joy having you on the show.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciated it.
You are so welcome. It's a joy for me.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, folks. One last thing. We're going to wrap this up pretty quick since we have a short show today. I was reading again about how you can recover from your business from the COVID. And of course, the Phoenix Network is sponsored by Local Motive Marketing, and Local Motive Marketing is in the business of providing, let's see, it's beacon technology for geofencing and mobile coupons, gamified mobile coupons, and branded Wi-Fi for brick and mortar businesses. And the reason I'm mentioning that now instead of at the end of the show is because the article that I was focused on today was about using, again, hyperlocal data, which is what all of those different technologies can help you do is gather local data around you. But this particular article was about the fact that you can then use that data. You need the data to do this, but you can then use that data for targeting, for example, employees at businesses around you. I'm not talking about competitor employees. I'm not talking about competitor business, although you can use the data for that too. I'm talking about people who work in a shop near your restaurant, or people who work in a restaurant near your shop, that you can target them based on their behavior, or based on their proximity, based on getting to know them, getting to know more about them, and helping them get to know more about you through the use of data. So, local motive marketing, geofencing with proximity beacons, gamified mobile coupons, business branded social Wi-Fi, so that we can help you start growing your business back and get through this, because we're all finding our way here, folks. Every single one of us is finding our way here. So let's find our way together. You can reach either the Phoenix Network or Local Motive Marketing at 602-618-6626. Email for the Phoenix Network is media@thephoenixnetwork.biz. Email for Local Motive Marketing is info@local, L-O-C-A-L, motive, M-O-T-I-V-E, marketing.com. Info@localmotivemarketing.com. Okay? It's been a pleasure, folks. It's been such a joy to bring you Dolly, the legendary Dolly Kennedy, and the legendary Dolly Steamboat. This is Gene Kernan with the Phoenix Network, signing off. See you next week.